Steve's building, Eric. Steve's building.
Oh, I like to break it out. You,
Yeah.
This is your first meeting, Logan.
No, see.
Second. Righto, everyone. We'd like to welcome you all here to our November meeting. Apologies first up. I had one from the mayor. She's not going to be here. Everyone else is here. Someone have to move that, do we? Move on. And now on the public forum, and we've got Ross Hall speaking on the Eden Hall bench, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep.
Far away.
All right. Hi guys, welcome to the new committee. And we both take a seat here to get started.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Right, yeah, we saw that flash. Would you like me to stand?
Yeah, whatever suits you.
Okay, we're here to talk about our concept development for the Eden Hall project that we've been working on for a period now. We contacted ARL and Dunedin a few months ago to talk about the progress in the project, and they put us on to a guy called David Hebblewed from a company called Arts and Facts in Auckland, who is ARL specialist story writer. He brings stories to life. So we started off with a audio or visual chat with him online, and we got him interested in the story. He thinks we've got something here, and he travelled down to Ranfurly to meet us, and Stu, we took him out to Naseby, and we got the Eden Hall story out there and tried to get it in and what it was all about. And then after that, we went up to Auckland and met his creative team, and we sat down and thought of a concept that could visualise and work. And if you ever wanted to check David's work, he's an international storyteller. He's working on a project called the Eden Project in Cornwall in England. It's a £100 billion project. And it's also linked into other projects in Scotland, China, Costa Rica, and Australia, and another one in England. And he's really good at what he does. And so I'm going to let my wife explain the concept plan, and I'll let you take it away, Clarence. So
yes, so firstly, thank you for letting us have a voice here today. This is a very special project for us. I have a little quote from somebody very special in this journey. If something is deemed worthy, getting it in the first place, then perhaps it's worthy of looking after it. So that was the late John Steele. Such an inspiration of people business. So our goal is actually to share this collection with as many people as possible, and to share the background stories of Eden and our environment that is so unique to us. I feel driven to share this experience that I felt visiting Glenshee. Eden shows that you can create an environment where you are surprised, curious, stimulated, intrigued, and simply there to have fun. So that was a part of our brief to David.
Absolutely.
So the vision obviously was to drag in as many people as possible, and to have Maniototo as a fashion hub. We really believe that that is something that's possible. We really believe that we can create a unique environment and really pushing our landscapes. So it's what all of Maniototo is. It's not simply a building.
Yeah, and it's also part of the plan for the tourism destination group to separate or define Central Otago from Queenstown Lakes, and give the area a place that people, when they're on holiday in Queenstown or from all parts, can come and visit while they're here. Next slide.
So the experience we wanted to create was to really enjoy the environment, to be really surprised, to be glamorous, and to immerse our audience in actual Eden story. So as much as the dresses are amazing and the garments are outstanding. We really want to be storytellers in this version of where we want to put Eden. So the bigger picture that we've been also working with David, which is incredible amount of knowledge that he has in this field, and we feel very privileged to be able to even talk to him, is that the journey goes from Cromwell into the heart of the Maniototo, where we believe that the storytelling belongs, and then finishing in Dunedin. Along the way, having spots like Naseby, Wedderburn, and all our little different key areas that people can be on a trail. So,
And so basically we have Dunedin and Cromwell as areas you can cite the garments, but Ranford is where you come to learn the story of the man and what he was all about.
so the audience, we believe, will capture a huge amount. Being on the rail trail, of course, we want to capture as many people there as possible. We want to capture, obviously, purists in the fashion world. We want to capture these. We want to capture people that have no idea about Eden's story and actually share that with them. So there's young children that can be so interested in this amazing story that we have. So the experience we talked about a lot with David and his design team was about learning. So that's what Lo-Fi's aspect is about learning about fabrics, or learning in any aspect about fashion. So I wanted a learning aspect in this, obviously learning about Eden's story too. We wanted to have our landscapes really sort of as the highlight. So that was important to us. We wanted it to be glamorous, and we wanted it to have a core of the roots of the tractor shed and the memories, and sort of listening and learning to Eden story.
Yep. So it'll be broken into 3 sections, and each are at the front where you have the colours, the fabrics. You can design your own garment in the centrepiece in the centre, which will have the landscapes in it. And it'll be Instagrammable shot in the part where you can get very playful with it. And then this back section is the cinema room where you can learn the story of Eden. And so people can take, especially this position on the rail trail, can take that story with them and learn something that they didn't know, on their way. There's an area at the back behind the red curtain, that's the current toilet blocks and all that. We're going to meet with planning to see if we can remove that, and then we can house some garments in there on display and create more of the tractor shed feel. Yeah. So this is the very first concept. So, yep.
So we wanted it as a showstopper, hence the living sculpture, which is very large, and we also talked about it not being a shop, but being getting people like, what is that? I need to get in there. I need to know a little bit. We tried to bring in the aspect of curiosity, really. So David thought that was really important for our story.
Yep.
So we have high country couture, and again, that's like capturing the rail trail people. What is that? What's that all about? Let's go and discuss.
Yep. And we've already got the trails position at the new sun, which hopefully is going up soon. Just back about 30 or 40 metres from us, where they ride through the arches of the sun and sit in the seats, and we're right here to really make people stop and Ranfurly and increase their foot traffic into the town.
So this is the inspiration for the learning part that David picked up on, what I was really wanting. and it's a digital platform where you can use the inspirational fabrics that Eden had collected with his 230 odd garments, and pick out what you want to create and either share that online or, so that's one of the exciting parts of the fact of learning is actually hands-on creating.
The centerpiece.
So the centerpiece is what we've learned also since coming back to Maniototo, the stories of Eden, is that he was desperate for everyone to try on his garments. He used to say, try this on, try this on. And we've had so many stories of people saying that Eden wanted to try on garments. Obviously that's something that we can't do, but we really want to honour Eden's love of actually wearing the garments. So these
What's that?
these are little sculptures that people can project the chosen fabrics onto the profiles and get an Instagram shot. We want to tell the world about this. It's not just local. This is.
And it's also about the landscapes, so the landscape on fine shelter at the back, and we hope to change that out.
Yes.
Really promote the Maniototo areas internationally. So it's something special, that all the nations see. Oh, thanks, yeah.
So that creation is actually David's come up with a bodice of a garment. So it's you go into that steel work. So we're quite excited about the creativeness that he's come up with.
Yep.
And this is the tractor shed. There obviously is that the rawness of it. We really want to say this is where this is where this dream began. This is the the little seed that happened, and look what we've got now. So this is the storytelling part of our the back and the tractor shed.
Yeah, and we can really have fun with this part, bringing it back to the 70s and 80s and making it feel like a tractor shed again. So we can work on that.
We did choose to not go super high tech with this because of the cost involved and because of the fact that David thinks that it could be outdated very quickly. But we did want to bring in a fun aspect, and it could be talked about. We want people to grab something, all types of different people. There's different ways of learning. There's hands-on learning, and then there's listening learning. So this guy, David, he absolutely knows his stuff. We're quite delighted with the number one concept of where we're at right now.
And hopefully we've got a video to put it all together.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, nothing wrong.
Is it? Has it got sound?
Music, but
Sorry, and I didn't test it.
So, any,
Very good. I've got those.
I knew it was,
Well, I just think a long time ago, the chairman of the board here, Barry Beaker, was part of the original group that bought that.
yeah,
And they got a fair bit of stick going, what the hell are you buying old dresses and a tractor sheet for, what a waste of money and ratepayers' money. And I just think it's absolutely amazing to sit down in Main Street, Ranford, which sort of feels like it's coming back to where it was. And as a council, how visionary they were to keep something that clearly in time will be quite amazing. So, you know, it started from wee boards like this, listening to the community get involved, and I think it's really cool to see it like that, and congratulations, you guys. It's
yeah.
fantastic.
We had a talk with Paula and Renelle earlier in the week, and one of the things they said is they did actually go to ARL a few years ago. And one of the things Serene said was that Eden needs its own home before they can do anything with it. And so we're quite proud to be able to do that and work in with the council and supply that home. And then we'll do all the work and there's, you know, grow this economy in the area and not just for the Maniototo, it's for the whole central Otago.
Well done. Very good. Any more questions?
So, okay.
Good.
I get it, and if I know,
Yeah.
it's good that you're having the conversations with Paula and Renelle, because obviously there's a trust that oversees how even though we own it, a trust sort of looks after it, how it's used and all that sort of stuff, so.
We are so lucky that the council owns it all because no one can take it.
No,
So we can work with it and if you don't like what we're doing, you take it off us. You know, and I think that's fantastic.
that looks great.
Yeah, it's been saved.
And once we have this up and running, there's so much more that we can do. We'd absolutely love to take it up to New Zealand Fashion Week and Eden's clothing be a real feature up there. Then we get those Aucklanders booking tickets straight into Dunedin or Queenstown and driving through to learn about the story. So we are so lucky that the council's got that because they're still wearable garments, you know. And honestly, we went to Fashion Week in Auckland and they did a little heritage and that was packed out and people just loved. And that was only going back 10 years.
Yeah.
I mean, this clothing is classic or classic. And maybe it's the right time to show it because people just want more and more and more of this sort of New Zealand made garments by designers that are New Zealand designers.
Well, the book first edition has sold out, and they've now published the second edition, haven't they? And so it's been for the printing press at the press at was it the Department Press, the most successful book.
And we've probably got a time with the economy.
Okay. We're just asking for support. We wanted to share this firstly with our region and to let you know this has been a year and a half working with the council, working on it, thinking about the best way forward. So we're at the starting line now. So yeah, we will go ahead and if you know, like if you've got any feedback or you had, you know, any sort of, we just asking.
We're just building us in the area, and I think Renelle's going to go on the road next year to the community boards to discuss it. And I'll be working very closely with David and seeing how we can progress this. And the Edenport Charitable Trust will be looking at and start raising funds and push this thing along. Yeah.
Well done. Yeah, very good, thank you. No more questions? Well, thanks for bringing that along and showing us.
Thank you.
Very good.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're-
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you. No more in the public forum. Condolences, we had 3 recently, John Stringer, Patricia Helm and Francis Eason. I'll just ask everyone to stand. 100% spiritual. Thank you. Confirmation of the minutes. Take it, everyone's read them. Anyone want to? Who do they be? I will. You, Becky. Second, thank you. All in favour? You go discussing anything, do we? Any more? Declarations of interest. Want people to keep an eye on that. Do we have to redo anything? And everyone's had a look and they're all correct. I think in mine, it's my wife that's a member of the golf club. Nice. Golf's another thing that annoys me. I wouldn't be.
Mayor's report, she's not here, so if anyone hasn't seen the report. Chair's report. A lot to say really, I've got a bit to say that I probably should have said last time. I'd just like to congratulate our members that were re-elected back onto the board, well done. Becky, Duncan, Stu, and welcome Logan onto the board. Good to have a bit of younger blood on the board. And like Benny. Hey,
Yeah.
you notice they're both sitting opposite the older ones. I'd like to thank the other candidates for standing as well, because it's always good to have more people put their hand up and stand for these jobs. Probably the most candidates we'd had for a long time, actually. The offshot of the election, of course, was we lost Haz off the board. Robert Hazard, he'd been on the board for 12 years. He was on for 3, and then I think he was chairman for the next 9. Haz was a bit of a character, really. Pretty straightforward. You always knew where you stood with him, which was good. I quite enjoyed that. I know a few people didn't. He did a lot of thinking and work around the area. I'd like to wish him well, whatever he does from here on in. I'll actually miss the verbal jousts and the discussions we used to have across the table. Just like to remind everyone that or anyone that's watching, that our phone numbers and email addresses are up. If there's anyone that wants to get in touch with us, we're going to look into more ways of community, how can I put it, involvement, or get the community a bit more involved with the board in the new year. Just to remind people, the first port of call if there's any problems should always be the county office with works requests and that. If there's any problems after that, come to us, I suppose. And just this paper was said in the paper the other day, there's a bit more bloody abuse and stuff going on. It'd be quite nice if that was not directed at us, and especially the council staff. Council staff are only doing really what we tell them, so they can't be blamed. What goes on? Apart from that, I haven't had too much. I got rain by, well, it wasn't rain, it was, my wife asked me on behalf of a person down a certain street that there's an empty house on, and they thought there was rats coming across from the empty house into there. So I think it's on the works that we, and someone will have a look at that. I don't know if there was or not. I haven't talked to the other neighbour, but where else we go? Oh, I was telling GP about a tree under Ellison Lane Bridge. I think it's since been gone, banging. So it's good, and probably a few of the willows downstream needed sprayed just to clear the stream up. And we had a strategy session here on Monday by Rebecca McElroy, which was quite a good session. I think everyone learned a bit out of it. It sort of gives us a path of where we're going. And I was awake early this morning, so I took a wander around the town. Obviously can't sleep with the pressures of this job. And it's quite good to see that all the footpaths have been sprayed and the weeds killed before Christmas. So by Christmas time, they'll all be gone. The hospital wing's going ahead. I was talking to those guys as well, and they seem to think it'll be finished by about Christmas. Should be good. And the street sweeper was on the job, tidying up the bloody rubbish on the streets, plus the wheelie bin people about, so it was all go. That's about me. I'll recommend that report be received.
Second it.
Cheers. Members' reports. Just to kick off. Works. No, Becky, you go.
Thanks, Eric.
Not much since the last meeting, but obviously late night shopping's coming up for the Main Street Friendly, so that's next Friday night, so that's pretty cool. things seem to be picking up down the street. It's quite busy, which is really cool. Talking to a few of the business owners, they've noticed things, starting to get busier and more people around. So that's pretty cool. The pool, that's one of my faves. It's open, which is awesome because it's not even December yet. So the pool is warm, they're fully staffed, they've got longer hours for December and January. I think it's 6:30 in the morning to 7 at night. So fingers crossed for a great season. I'm sure it will be because Sarah does an amazing job there. What was that? The fence along the rail trail. Does anyone know? Has anyone been questioned about that coming down?
Yes, it has been, but it actually is, I think, a legal access way along through there,
Yeah,
and Graham's use it.
yeah,
So it can't, I don't think it can be
right.
pulled down really, well, it could be, but I don't know. Yes.
Like along the back of the main street shops, like the pharmacy and the bookshops and that. So was it the high? Was Ken Gillespie that come in and asked me about it?
It's not actually a legal road access, but the community board or the county council community board board will access to the back of those shops.
Yeah.
And so the fence are jointly owned, would be jointly owned by DOC and CODC. So not all businesses are happy about it coming down.
Right.
And so Ken asked me to try and tell me what costs they want down, because they may not need it all down. It might just be towards the sun, where the sun things go. Yeah, it might just be there so that you can get visibility from the sun through to the street, not necessarily down Graham's end.
Yeah.
No one has been able to give any clarification on anything.
It's interesting because it wouldn't really give any visual aspect to the main street. And I was worried about the back of the businesses being on show, which are probably the tin fence is tidier than the back of the fence. But that's
Sorry, I should ask him to clarify what they are, what's being planned, and I haven't had anything that yet. So
well, it's still there. So
it's good to
that's cool. And then I just
Sorry, does the council own that bit of ground, did you say?
yes,
Oh.
the access way, yes, and it's not a legal road access.
Not a legal road
I get confused about that. It's council owned. Yeah.
Sorry, Judy.
no, you're right. You're all good. And we talked about I can't remember, it was the last meeting or on Monday about the fire brigade and the ambulance police, and they're having some civil defence information evening that we all got together with a couple of weeks ago. And I'm kind of keen to maybe have something at the AMP show. Because we've had the council tent there before with the Willie bins, and I just wonder if there was any thoughts about or possibility of having another council tent at the AMP show.
Perfect, right behind you is the answer to that, you do it with Foreign Ridge.
Yeah.
You're doing it.
Yes, I'm Deborah Binn, community engagement, I've popped in this number.
So I'm taking a thunder.
So, no, not at all. No, we just started reinforcing what we've been thinking.
Yeah.
So we are planning to be at the AMP shows, and I think what's happening in the next week or two is sort of an internal meeting about what that looks like. And what should be there. So any feedback you guys have about what you think would be appropriate for this particular area would be helpful in our planning.
Okay. Cool. I've got a couple of ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it'd be really cool to get the kids involved and have like a kids corner and a suggestion box and see what they want kind of thing. And maybe advertise that within the schools that it's going to be there so that they can have a week think for 3 or 4 weeks. Because I've heard like a pump track, a BMX, mini golf, a gym access for kids, as well as like the civil defence. Like it was such an engaging meeting. And I walked away thinking, we are really not that organised. Like, I'm really worried about the elders in the community and what that looks like for them. Do they know what it could be like? And are they prepared? So I just quickly spoke to Shirley who ran that, and she said the guy who did the civil defence, what's his name? Sorry.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, he's really keen to be engaged as well, and they're talking about having a big mass thing, but whether they can come over as well, and even having on display how much water someone uses in a week, that kind of thing. Because I know the St. John's Vinnies, the wee kids here, they sent out packs to some elderly. They fundraised and they put them together like backpacks, And they had like a radio in there, some, they had cans of food, toilet paper, a list of things that they should be putting in there. And when we handed it out, Ange Francis and I handed it out to some of the elderly around here, and they were just overwhelmed. They were like, what is this? This is so cool. What a great idea. It's a big bright orange backpack full of stuff. So something like that would be quite cool. So
Taking notes, thank you.
yeah, yeah. And apart from that, it's just, yeah, that's with me. That's the ideas.
Thanks, Vicky. I haven't got a lot, just a strategy session last week, earliest, yeah. Which I thought went well, and we're all pretty much singing off the same page, for a lot of that. I put in a service request yesterday with a bit of broom spray. And, it's more, midday-ish today, Logan and I and QP looked at a couple of intersections, which I don't know if we knew much about one, there's definitely something that could be done with the other one, vision wise, and perhaps a stop sign maybe be put there. And that's about me. Thanks, sir.
Yep, last couple of mine have already been taken. Obviously, the civil defence meeting, good turnout, but I won't talk about it anymore because don't think you've stolen my thunder. Normal issues around roading and broom, which I encourage people to send in service requests, but particularly Home Gully Road to come up as a road of concern. And no one lives on this road is the issue, but it's quite an important road for the individual's business. I've had questions around who owns the buildings at the back of the railway, the buildings you're talking about, Becky, I suppose, behind Graham's and the old railway dock.
Shunters yard next door.
Yeah, that old dock is up. And is there any plans or is there, I had no idea when I would ask, I don't know what the plan is.
Well, a lot of people get sick of the ugly building on the end. And I think this cars still in it or something like that.
Right,
Now, I did have a suggestion of what they could do with it, but I'm not gonna hear it here.
yeah, wait till the internet's turned off.
Yeah,
I think those main buildings have been,
and the lines, yes, the counter buildings for storing,
storage, because the bike companies were using them, weren't they? But
yeah, storing gear in them for, stick tow sales.
Right, so Doc owns them. We have a word to talk about them maybe and the upkeep and.
I think we have over the years, haven't we?
Something. I think that's not interested.
Doc and I interested, they've got no money, so I thought if it was worth something, they'd be interested.
Yeah, well, it's just sort of lowers the level of our town, they don't look at us, so.
Yeah.
There could be more discussions brought up again about that, I don't know. Certainly, a couple of people have asked about it anyway. The irrigation on number 3 looks like there's issues are sorted down near the rugby ground. Kids cricket's in full swing, that's good. There was quite an issue last week. There's a social basketball league that Tom Weir's organised with about 70 basketballers. And everyone arrived on Wednesday night to only one basketball hoop. So that was something that's been sorted out. It's just
Yes, and that was apologies, but,
Yeah.
new hopes were being put up and the maintenance officer didn't realise it was a game that night. So they got another date. And
yes, right.
no charge for them.
I certainly look at sorted here.
Yeah.
I was there last night and I still talking
Apologies to them. It's-
Yeah, no, that's right.
Yeah.
New hopes are up, they look good actually. And then the last one, which is caused for conversation, is just around the plan around the planting of trees. It was touched on in our workshop on Monday night, but the plan for what we're going to do with the trees down the rugby ground, replanting, tying that fence up and
Woody.
and yeah, plan in place for them as they come into the ground, and all those trees are in age. Guys are wanting to know if there is plans in place and what the options are there. Certainly around the replanting of what has been taken down. Up to
Straight line. Yeah.
yeah,
So
sure.
we're talking about, well, yeah, so there's going to be some planting on there.
Yeah. Well, it's been a year. It's been almost a year now, isn't it?
Yeah, budget.
Yeah. Yeah. So There's a few starting to wonder how long it takes to plant plants, that's all.
Well, I think to be fair, there wasn't a planned recap at the time.
Yeah.
There's talked about that since then, so we've now got that. in place.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
And the one comment I heard, don't want Te Aki Maniototo to be left with the replanting, because they were nervous they were going to get left with it. Whereas it's a council responsibility. It's the conversation that we're having with the group, so. Let's throw that out there. I reckon, there's also the roof's leaking in the squash. The kids squash it off, the roof's leaking in the squash club rooms. Yes, so I said I'll take it. I was there when it was leaking, so it's
So, I was like,
2 Mondays ago. There's a thunder plant and it was leaking.
some work done on roof, we had a new, centre guttering put on and heat screwed
Right,
as well, so.
there was approximately 6 cups on the ground trying to catch some pain water, I know that. So,
And upstairs, like,
yeah,
Some of
Yeah.
them tell me where it is expected.
It's like front and center, like
Yeah.
right in the middle,
yeah,
right at the sports club roots. Where the couches and the heat pumps are, right in the middle of the heat pumps.
It's in the lounge room.
In the lounge.
yeah, that's all, yeah,
But you're, what's it say?
yeah. And I think that's it from me.
thanks, like, just a matter of, interest, what are you gonna plant down there?
We'll come back to you with that. Yeah.
And you're gonna take the other ones down up the drive? You're gonna do something with them too?
Well, I think there might be budget next financial year.
Yeah.
Okay, that's right.
What about the ones on the other side that are growing up to the power lines?
So that'll be part of that, that line to take.
Oh, very good, thanks for that. Cheers, Lee. Good.
I've got a bit here. Yeah, we've just had a swearing in of our council. So, some new people, which is great, a bit of movement, so we've lost a lot of experience. But gained some enthusiasm and a few some other ones from, a bit of experience in business and everything in the Cromwell, so it's an interesting group to get together. Lucky enough, last week, Tamer and I went to local government rural provincial, which I had thoroughly enjoyed. A lot of very good speakers. But one statistic that stuck in my head a wee bit, Peter, sorry, is with us as well. There's an IRD in Gisborne and Hawke's Bay, it shut down about, I think of memory, 70 odd small businesses, which is quite alarming for wee rural communities. I mean, you look at Brad Olson's report, Central Otago, Central Otago, Southland and South Otago, we're one of the only regions with growth. And a lot of that's to do with agriculture and tourism, and we're very lucky to have that. But now we're entering a new uncertain stage with regulatory roles. It's paramount that agriculture and tourism is the front of mind, and we've just seen that today. Classic example, tourism started from a concept 50 years ago of a guy having a development 20 years down the road is paying back. So that was really, really good. A lot of interesting speakers. Rates capping was one I think we've got to be very careful of. It's probably going to come. And when the Minister of Local Government said you will face a tsunami like no other, and when you get out of the other side of the tsunami, your pants will be on fire. And yesterday we have started seeing a start of that, and what it means for us. And it worries me. If I love looking into the crystal ball, but I just hope somewhere along the line, groups like this, and we've been involved this morning in trust giving that money, there's still a place for small community groups that represent wonderful little communities like we've got and all throughout New Zealand and rural provincial towns. So that was really, really good. I then went from that, and it was great networking. I guess we don't do that enough. We only do that probably at this table, at social function, at council, and maybe Christmas functions, but those things, I had an evening where you were with mayors and CEOs and other councils. And I was fortunate enough to go out to tea with Tamer and a few of the other young mayors, and there's some really, really outstanding local body politicians when you start getting in amongst them. So I'm really, really confident that there's some really good leaders in the future. Went then down to Christchurch to the show, where it's been one of those events that's been really struggling because there's been friction between council and the show committees, and it was next thing it was cancelled, and there was a beautiful day after a rough day the day before, and the place was heaving, and it brought town and country together, and it was just shoulder to shoulder with people. So I guess what I'm saying is that councils don't all just think about what we do here, but to enhance those, bring the people together was really quite amazing. And then I went to the races the following day, and it was a sellout again, where people are now wanting to get out and do things. And it was just a massive crowd, and everyone was dressed up. So Canterbury's really starting on those figures. You look at the South Island, the communities are starting to open up on the money. Went to the business group the other day, and as Russ and Tanya said, that one of the big features that came out of that for me was a lot of the businesses are getting really starting to get, and Becky talked about it before, getting busy. And that's a really good sign with numbers coming through. Bike companies, I know our place bookings are looking really strong. And there is a lot of work going on, and the economic guys and the tourism guys, and I was a part of that. The group state will come to us to do that ad the other day on the rail trail, all the trails in Otago. And the guy doing that, Brock, he'd just come from the Amazon doing a documentary, and he was John Key's press secretary, or in the press gallery of the John Key government. Very, very interesting guy. So he gave me some tips about getting into the election. Winning the election, you might say. With the government at meeting council the other day, it's going to be really, really interesting to see where all these regulatory roles fall. And I feel sorry for Tamer to be chucked in at the deep end, because probably when you sign up to be a mayor, you didn't expect that you're going to be running a regulatory role that you don't know where it's going to sit. So there's a lot coming down there. The RMA is about to come out the next month. The ORC, how that all falls up, and really that we only had a couple of ones I've been flagging. So what's next? Regional deals. I'm not going to say sort of hit a road bump, but of course the elected members have not been elected in Queenstown Lakes and ORC, and they've got to form their groups before they start again. So, but there's a lot going on in that space, and there'll be a lot. I just can't help thinking that we'll end up in words like, small councils will have to look at amalgamation. I would like to think we have a part of that thinking, had a part of that debate if we want to go somewhere. I'm pretty sure we'll be told where to go, but I'd like to think we have a say and think we would be better suited here to there. Went to that civil defence night the other day. It was a really good combination between the guys at council and civil defence, police, fire and ambo, and we've just heard our fire trucks and everything go out on the journey now. I guess one thing that really sticks in all of that, and Derek Shaw summed up very well, is I think the figure, and I'm not great at figures, 95% of all those roles are done by volunteers. And I don't think a lot of other communities realise when you get a community this size, how many volunteers, and as soon as that alarm went off, every one of us in here in this room are in fire and emergency or an ambulance, and we all got a page saying there's an incident. I don't know how we can, and I have talked to Nick before, but we have now got massive industrial businesses running, whether it be gold mines or solar farms or dams or irrigation, non-local power companies. But as soon as something happens on a workplace, it automatically health and safety calls 111. And we have to give up our work and our jobs to go and help billion-dollar businesses that I feel sometimes aren't contributing to our volunteer base. And I've had a meeting yesterday about rates, how we set rates so we get fair and equitable, or is there an opportunity for us to lobby fire and emergency, civil defence to get paid people in our role? Because if you want us to be on your community boards and in your board of trustees and doing other jobs, for God's sake, value the volunteers. And I think no more just than that now, that 7 people have given up work, jumped on a fire truck to get away out. What more probably grinds my gears is today we had a trust meeting, and thanks to Becky, made the girls from Plunkett come along and apply for money to teach wee kids to swim. Not that long ago, Granfully Plunkett or Maniototo Plunkett, $200,000 or $300,000 or more sitting in their account, and the National Overriding Group took that money away and parked it away. That wasn't the end of the sad story. They were told they couldn't apply for this individually because Plunkett would apply for the money to teach his kids to swim. Unfortunately, they didn't apply for enough money as far as I'm concerned, because both trusts were really interested in making that was where we should be putting our money, not fighting against an establishment like Plunkett telling them what they can and can't apply for. So I don't know if there is a mechanism and we can Rebecca might be able to help me, that we can write as a supporting document to Plunkett, saying, look, these girls shouldn't be marking lambs. They shouldn't have to beg and steal to actually give their kids to go swimming when 300,000 was raised in the last 50 years by selling cakes and eggs and doing everything like that. That surely, and one thing of our strategy meeting we had the other day is we just want a fair chunk of the cake that has been generated here. So if that we could somehow, I know this meeting's recorded and if Plunkett are listening, I would suggest that we need to be having conversations. Yeah, that was quite, and I'm very pleased that Becky actually got them to come here because they were really nervous about coming here because they didn't want to be seen to be greedy. But if we can't look after the Plunkett and teach them to swim, it's a fundamental thing kids should be done. And going back to the trees, at our strategy meeting the other day, a word came up, and about one thing that came out of it is how we interact with the community all the time. And it's great having Becky and Logan here because they're younger people in our community, talk to a lot of people. Is the trees always come up, and we just had a discussion whether we have a tree assassination plan, something quite simple and humorous, that actually people in the next 18 months, 2 years, 3 years, over the whole district, and especially here, understand what trees are up for the chop. I know, just to be humorous, you know, the tree assassination plan is 15 trees at Patiroa or at St. Bathans Hall or Beeks in the school grounds or whatever are going to be up, just to let you know that that lot of trees there are going to get the chop in 18 months or 15 years time, because it does seem, and I know in Alexandra's topical with the group there in the car park, that trees always come back and not hurt, but they take a lot of time out of elected members' minds. So I just think it's something that's one topic that came up. And other than that, no, it's been, wish this board really well done for these young guys standing up, and it was great to have an election. There's always a bit of wash, and you know, Robert has done a marvellous job in this community, gets around, does a lot of stuff. He's pretty blunt, you know where you stand. And the other thing is we lost a very lovely councillor, Lindley Claridge. Just want to acknowledge that Lindley did a lot of work in the night sky here in Naseby. She was worked for the accountant as long as I can remember. Lindley, she was a wee fellow sitting with mum and dad at the accountants, and she was secretary for the accountant, doing all run around giving you the Tim Tams and coffee. But she was a bit like Sue Umbers was in this community. She was a grandmother figure, and she'll be sadly missed, and she's a wonderful lady. So that's my report, and
Thanks, Stu. Someone want to recommend those reports, B and C? Thanks, B. Second. No. All in favour? Thank you.
we might have to be excused.
Yeah, you read that?
Yeah, so we have another call out in the fire.
Yeah.
Why not? Can we maybe start?
Three, we don't have quorum, so.
Pardon?
We lose three, we haven't got a call.
How much more business have we got?
I don't think we've got much. Yes.
Yeah, we can run it.
Can we just have a German for coming?
Yeah, it's workshop.
Adjourn meeting.
We'll do that.
We've just had another call out to another area, and all the facilities have gone to waiting at their end.
Way to go.
Well, I don't know, we can find out.
I'll stay. I haven't got my gear. I'll stay. You should go.
I'll make a phone call.
We need three of us today.
Yeah, we've got three.
Well,
Won't be
well,
too
We put one extra.
it's easy to do putting this up.
Yeah, right. That's all right.
Status reports.
Yeah.
Go on to that.
We're away.
Thank you.
Right, what you having?
Yeah, I'll stay. I'm not here, so I'll stay. Okay.
It's all right, enough?
Yeah.
You got your gear, Stu?
I have, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Well, there's something else. Status reports. Security, oh,
So we've got a couple of,
who's speaking to those?
no one, it's just reading through, and
Nothing
Nick,
to do on
give us an update on the economic development strategy. So Nick Land is going to come in,
Oh, yeah.
15-minute update.
I don't know if you can say, Nick.
Yeah, because we get some talk about the economy strategy, and I'm here to talk about the economic development strategy. I guess my hope out of this update is just to raise awareness that, as council, we have an economic development strategy. We've currently got the draft out for community consultation. Just want to recap, how we got to the document where it is, what the sort of thrust and general direction of it is, and how that moves forward, from here. So, yeah, I think we'll move to the next page. So before we get into it, often people ask me what economic development is. Really, how I explain it, it's about making our business and community, our businesses and our economy thrive in a way that's in line with our community values, and that brings community well-being. So it's those benefits from those businesses doing well are shared throughout the community. So, what council as a whole of the organisation has a role in economic development. We think from the roads and the bridges enabling the transport and the connectivity. We've got obviously water, we've got the regulation side as well as the planning. In terms of my economic development role, I mainly specialise in connecting businesses into council. So I'll often a big floor, try and find who the right person is to help with a regulatory concern. Yesterday I was taking calls from real estate agents wanting to be connected with property and opportunities in council as well. Help connect businesses with central government for their funding and their grants. And also keep a lot of the data and basically the economic data and the insights across the community. It could be demographic data in terms of our makeup and our age distribution. It could be household incomes. It could be around the population growth that we're predicting for our communities and for the district as a whole. And so that obviously all flows into council business and helps us with our planning, but we make that readily available to anyone in the community, whether it's a community group looking to apply for grants and funding and things like that, that wants some numbers to back it up. We've been supplying data into Health New Zealand about our future population projections. At the moment, they're going through a process to plan the future provision of health services in Central Otago and Queenstown Lakes. And so we've been really making the case that you need to use council's population projections rather than Stats New Zealand, because Stats New Zealand typically always underestimate the population growth that we've had as a wider district, and then the services haven't followed as a result. Where I probably focus most of my time is really just helping businesses to collaborate, or it could be groups to collaborate on a problem or an opportunity that individually that they can't make the headway on, but collectively they can. So, and that's all links back with some of the data and the insights we've done, economic impact reports on the effect of the moving flows on the care. It doesn't make sense for each individual business or irrigation company to do that. But if we just do it once for everyone, then that's great, and that helps the community insight as well. A few examples up there. So you've got Infometrics. We talked about, someone mentioned Brad Olson and Stu. Brad works with Infometrics. That's the data dashboard that's really available to everyone to access. Cam on the left with the frozen cherries. We run a project with the hort industry just to enable more commercial processing of the fruit that's grown here, because it's about 6,000 tonnes that we grow that we don't do anything with. So it's like, right, how do we enable more businesses to do things with that? Mayor's Task Force for Jobs, Craig. So that's something that we've got external funding to run, and that's around getting youth into employment in Central Otago. And we have pretty much the lowest unemployment figure in the district. So employers are screaming out for staff, yet we still have youth who aren't in employment. And often it is just someone that's going to spend a bit of time with them one-on-one, help them work out what they want to do and make some introductions to them, maybe get them work here. Quite often youth have done driver's licensing as well. They want to work, but they haven't got the driver's license. How do we help them fast track through that process so they can get the license to actually be able to get to work as well?
Around that sort of work, is that like Winds and also do they sort of work with you, do they, or?
Yeah, MSD. So initially we're the Mayor's Task Force for Jobs. program started out, it was to get youth into work before they fell onto MSD books.
Right.
Our requirements have changed because we're also subject to central government narrative. So now we are working with MSDs, the MSD candidates that are required to go between 16 and 24 to work this way. I'll keep talking, trust you can hear me over that. Fiber, digital connectivity. And so this is the draft of the economic development strategy. What we did is we started this project 12 months ago and we got the initial round of community engagement. We had over 200 responses from our online survey. 10% of those came from the Maniototo Award. We also ran a workshop out here at the Rugby Club rooms, and that was probably one of the best attended workshops out of the 12 that we ran across the district. So we actually got some really good engagement and feedback through that process. Since then, we've brought that all together in a document, written it up, and now the process of we're going back. So how have we got this right? Did we get it right? So that is open for community engagement till sort of close of business tomorrow. It's been out there for 6 weeks. If we just go to the next page, I'm not going to go through 40 pages because that would be way too much. But really, I try and boil this down to something that we can explain to the guy on the street or the lady on the street what's in it for me for economic development. And what we're saying in our draft target is we want to raise the average wage in Central Otago to the national average by 2035. It's a 10-year strategy. So currently the average wage in Central Otago is 85% of the national average. So we're 15% below. If I went back 10 years, we'd be 20% below or 80%. So we are growing. If we keep catching, we'll get to 90%. The question here is, can we close the other 10% over 10 years? And the solution is not just not about to say, oh, let's just pay everyone more. It's actually about what I'm saying, how do we raise our productivity in our businesses and with our staff? Making those businesses more profitable for the business owners, and the economic theory is that productivity is then rewarded with the staff and the workers as well being paid more because they're able to produce more. So that's the journey that we're on at a high level. Go to the next stage. I do still plan to one page, and then essentially if we go to the next one, each of the projects has its own page, and a list of activities around there. We also talk about council role in it as well. Often people think council can solve everything, but the reality is we can't. There's some things we control, some things that we can lean into and influence, but we have to work with others on that journey. And so that's really just articulating that.
Sorry, just to go back, can we go back one step? The wages there, is that just because of so many seasonal workers? Is that the reason, or?
Oh, it comes into it, but as our population's been growing, as our economy's been diversifying, a lot of that seasonal work is not as big a proportion of our economy as it was. And sometimes some of that seasonal work, maybe probably into the horticulture, is so short term that it doesn't get caught by the data. I guess I don't want to get, it's easy to say, well, we're like this because of this reason or that reason, but the question we want to be asking is, regardless of where we're at, is how do we improve? Because whatever the base is, this is about making those improvements.
So does your role take in the,
Good. This is
does your role take in, we talked about this in our session that night, didn't we, around throwing up sections of council land and things, affordable housing. Very good under areas. Does your role take in that sort of stuff as well?
That's
the planning?
That's mainly through the planning function. But we will feed in data around, the affordability of sections. We look at sort of rental affordability, housing. We obviously do the population projections as well, so we can understand how much demand is coming through.
So much of that stuff's chicken and egg, isn't it?
You
need the land available to build on for people coming build on land. Like that's
And as a district, we probably have been behind the 8 ball, but I feel like we are catching up with various plan changes to free up more land. The growth has been unheard of, even with a lot of growth that we're experiencing. We're still in the top 5 districts nationally for the growth rate. They just released, Brad Olsen, Metrics released a report on district growth, and there's 18 districts in New Zealand that their populations have gone backwards over the last year. So it is interesting and a little bit unique in our situation.
Yeah, you say it's like growing so much, but like rainfall.
Yeah. It is, it is growing, but it hasn't experienced the same rate of growth that we have elsewhere in the district. Parts of the district have been exceptional, whether that's a good exception or not so good, but yeah, Bradford has not experienced the same growth, and to this extent, TVS as well. There are some exciting things on the cards in Maniototo with some of the infrastructure build that is coming in. Obviously, you've got the chicken farms as well, light sky, tourism on the cards as well, and yeah, I think yeah, business communities has been pretty impressive how they're coming together now.
Everybody has to follow along.
Yeah.
So essentially, if you do have time where you know people are interested in this, please just let them know that they've got another couple of days to feed them. They don't have to read the whole document. They can just do a keyword search for their key interests and see how that pops up. And it might be like this, don't like that, or have you thought about this? And even things that are good and telling us that this is a priority helps me then prioritise my work program, because there's more on that than I can possibly do. So we will have to prioritise.
Well, but you hear, are you noticing the other trends around Maniototo? Age, are you noticing any?
Yeah, you've definitely got an aging population
Going up?
Yes,
Yeah.
and that is true for the whole of Central Otago, but it would be more extension.
Are you seeing wages move, or are you seeing, like, you noticing the other trends within, like, can you break down Maniototo out of your?
I can, I don't have, I can probably come back to you on the money. Because on that metrics page, we can go into award level.
Right.
I'm just not sure whether we do that. No, we do it by wages too. So let me, I'll email it through. Basically, I'll show you how the wages look for the Maniototo, and what it also has on that web page, it's just industry change as well.
Yeah.
So I will show you where your growth is in employment coming into the average space.
Yeah. You know, would you have rate increases within the area? Can you, like, to break that down as well? Like, wages might not be moving, but rates are going up.
Wage rate,
Is that too much?
yeah, it doesn't do it at that level.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Per sector, it would do it across the whole of the.
Yeah, it wouldn't break that. Yeah.
Cool, but no, that's easy.
Yeah, cool, thank you.
Any other questions? Always just a phone call away. My phone number's on the website. Always happy to take phone calls, emails.
That's great, thanks very much.
Cool. I'll just leave a printed copy, just in case you.
I have put it in the meeting folder as well.
Yeah.
Is that of use if I leave a copy?
So.
Cool.
Thanks for that.
2 members back, hopefully soon too.
You know, like too.
Yeah, it's been standouts. Okay, thank you.
All right, nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for that.
It now. We just need to move the governance report.
All right. Someone want to move the governance report?
I'll move it.
Second.
They have next meeting.
And the date of the next meeting is 12th of February 2026.
Is it after, sorry, did we come to that component? Or was it a week before the first?
For sure.
That's the fourth, yeah.
So we'll do the 12th.
12th of February, yeah. That's us.
Yeah, was in meeting.
Oh, clear the meeting closed. You all have a good Christmas, because by the sound of it, you're going to be quite busy next year, so.